So let's talk about Tikal. You've probably seen the pictures of this legendary Maya city, right? Well, this isn't the story you think you know. This is the story of how some absolutely revolutionary technology is peeling back the jungle like a curtain and revealing a lost world that is completely rewriting the history books. You know, the dream of finding lost cities in Central America, it's as old as the first European explorers. When Hernan Cortés showed up in the 16th century, he kept hearing these persistent rumors from the local people about these incredible, wealthy cities hidden deep in the jungle. And look, this isn't just some dusty old story. The hunt is still on today. I mean, think about the recent expedition that found the legendary lost city of the monkey god in Honduras. It just goes to show you, these legends, they often have a very, very real foundation. But that brings up the big problem, doesn't it? The question archaeologists have been wrestling with for centuries. How in the world do you actually find a city that's been completely swallowed by a jungle so thick they call it a triple canopy rainforest, covering some of the most rugged, unforgiving terrain on the planet? To get our heads around that, let's turn to probably the most famous Maya ruin of them all, Tikal. For more than 1,000 years, it was almost completely erased by the jungle. The Tikal we know, those incredible pyramids poking through the green canopy, well, for a long time, that was our entire baseline for understanding the Maya world. And Tikal's history is just immense. It started as a tiny settlement way back in 900 BC, grew into a powerhouse, then suffered this century-long decline after a huge military defeat. But then it came roaring back, building those giant temples we see today. And then, poof. Around 950 AD, it was mysteriously abandoned, left to the jungle, until it was rediscovered in 1848. So, based on what we could actually see on the ground, the conventional wisdom for decades was pretty simple. We thought Tikal was mainly this big ceremonial center, a cluster of temples and palaces for the elites, surrounded by a bunch of farms. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if the huge, seemingly empty jungle all around those famous temples was actually hiding something on a scale nobody could have imagined? Okay, this is where our story takes a hard turn into the 21st century. This is where technology completely changes the game. I want to introduce you to LiDAR, a tool that's basically giving archaeologists X-ray vision. So LiDAR stands for Light Detection and Ranging. And here's how it works, in a nutshell. From a plane, it shoots hundreds of thousands of laser pulses every single second down at the jungle. Most of them hit leaves and branches, but a few sneak through all the way to the forest floor. And computers can take those few signals, filter out all the trees and vegetation, and create a perfect 3D map of the ground underneath. It's literally an X-ray of the hidden landscape. And what it found around Tikal was, well, it was staggering. A single LiDAR survey uncovered more than 60,000 previously unknown Maya structures. We're talking houses, palaces, defensive walls, roads, all of it hiding in plain sight right under the trees. Now, this discovery didn't just add a few new details. It basically threw the old map out the window. That old idea of isolated ceremonial centers, gone, replaced by a vast, interconnected metropolis. A population we thought was in the thousands, now we're talking a population that could have been in the millions. The Maya weren't just building temples, they were master urban planners on a scale that just boggles the mind. So this gives us a completely new picture of the Maya, a new reality. Tikal wasn't just some important city-state, it was the beating heart of an ancient megalopolis. And the details are just incredible. The data revealed nearly 180 kilometers of elevated causeways, these Mayan superhighways that connected hundreds of cities. They found evidence of what looks like an embassy from the great city of Teotihuacan, over 900 kilometers away. This made Tikal a true international hub. And all of it was supported by master engineers who managed water and farming for a massive population. But you know, if there's one discovery that perfectly illustrates just how brilliant these engineers were, it has to be what they found at one of Tikal's main water reservoirs. Okay, get this. Archaeologists figured out that the Maya had built this incredibly sophisticated water filtration system. They would import a special volcanic mineral called zeolite from more than 30 kilometers away. Then they layered it with quartz to create a molecular sieve, a system that could strip out harmful microbes and even heavy metals from the water, giving the entire city purified drinking water. And this was no accident. This system is about 2,000 years older than similar technology developed in Europe. It proves they had this amazing capacity for scientific observation, for experimentation, for innovation on a massive scale. It is just breathtaking. But here's the really crazy part. As mind-blowing as all of this is, the story of Tikal is nowhere near finished. In fact, we might have only just scratched the surface. Think about it like this. After more than a century of hard work by archaeologists, only about 20% of Tikal has actually been excavated. A staggering 80% of the city is still completely unexplored, still buried under that jungle canopy. Just let that sink in. Every single one of those thousands of green mounds that LiDAR put on the map, each one could be a temple, a palace, a royal tomb, or maybe, just maybe, the key that finally helps us understand why this massive, brilliant civilization just collapsed. And that leaves us with this one final, huge question. We've just seen how a single piece of technology completely turned our understanding of one of the world's great ancient civilizations on its head. So the question is, whose history will it rewrite next?